You're listening to C103's Cork Today podcast. Phone and text lines are currently closed.
We're off to the Health Hub Times Square in Ballincollig, where Anneliese joins me. Good afternoon to you, Anneliese.
Good afternoon, Patricia.
And you are very welcome. Let me get straight into questions because there were some that came in a little bit early and I did make a note of them. Hi, Anneliese. What would you suggest as a supplement that I could take for chronic gastritis without interacting with other medication that I'm on? No, this person doesn't list what other medication they're on.
Yeah, well, that would be an important thing to know, really. Well, chronic gastritis, anything itis, Patricia, is inflammation. So gastritis is inflammation of the gastric, is somewhere in the gastric system, usually the stomach, I suppose, really. But you can get inflammation anywhere down along. And in my experience, you really have to kind of try and figure out what's causing the irritation. So if it's in the stomach, it could be the presence of a bacteria called Helicobacter pylori, H. pylori it's also called. And symptoms of that typically could be a lot of burping. Some people would get terrible diarrhea or constipation, a lot of bloating, especially after eating, sometimes feeling of nausea. And if they're allowed to kind of grow unchecked, they can actually damage the mucus-producing cells of the stomach. And they produce a lovely thick layer that protects the stomach from stomach acid. So if they're not working well, you will get the stomach lining will start becoming exposed and will get irritated by the acid, and that's where you get the gastritis. So that's the first thing I'd suggest, is maybe get checked for the presence of that bacteria. Your doctor should be able to do a breath test. That was typically the way it used to be diagnosed before, Patricia, was with the breath test. But then they started making people go into the hospital for a gastroscopy, which, to be honest, I think the breath test is almost as accurate and far less invasive. So push for that. Now, if you wanted to just treat yourself, what would be very safe to take would be something called mastic gum. We have a lovely supplement here by a company called BioNutri that we give to people with Helicobacter or with inflammation in the stomach. And it's a combination of mastic gum and a few other things. The only thing that might be a problem in that is there is a little bit of licorice. So if your blood pressure is not well controlled, maybe it could raise your blood pressure slightly. That would be a small risk. Other things that work very well then for healing the gut overall are L-glutamine, which is the fuel for the cells in the gut, so it gives them the energy they need to be able to repair themselves. Also, zinc is very important, and we give people zinc carnosine quite a lot because that's very good for supporting the mucus-producing cells in the stomach as well. And there's a great supplement here called GI Natra Wellness, and it is a combination of L-glutamine, zinc, there's probiotics in it, there's digestive enzymes in it. There's really everything in it that you need to support a healthy gut and to help heal an inflamed gut. So that comes in powder or capsules, and it's by a company called Nature's Plus. So any of those should work well and be fine with most medications.
Okay, a couple of people are on about high blood pressure, including this one. Hi, Patricia. Could you ask Anneliese, is a cholesterol reading of 6.2 high for a woman of 58? I've been under a lot of stress the past year and a half, and that probably hasn't helped. Is there anything that Anneliese could recommend to lower high cholesterol? I know diet and exercise is important, but what else can I take? And then Catherine was on to say, after a visit to her doctor, she was told that she has both high cholesterol and high blood pressure. Now, she started on the Cardio K for the cholesterol, but she's wondering what would you recommend for the high blood pressure. She does have a good diet and she exercises by walking a lot, but she doesn't know what route to go down with the blood pressure. So I suppose start with the high cholesterol first. Is the Cardio K the way to go?
That could be definitely the way to go. Now, just to say, Patricia, cholesterol is a building block for our sex hormones, so our estrogen, progesterone and testosterone. And it's also a very important component of our cell membranes and particularly the fatty tissue of our nerves and our brain. So we do need cholesterol. And cholesterol is also a building block for our anti-stress hormone, which is an anti-inflammatory hormone. So they can be elevated during times of inflammation, times of stress, or during menopause. And for men as well, when testosterone is dropping later in their life, cholesterol can be elevated because the body is thinking, levels are dropping, I need to make more cholesterol as the building block to make more. And it takes a while for that feedback loop to, understand that it's not necessary anymore to keep making that level of hormones. So I'm not always too worried about elevated cholesterol around the time and after menopause. I think what's important is to make sure your good cholesterol is good. So if you really are concerned about getting your cholesterol down, Cardio K has got red rice yeast in it, and it also has plant sterols. And they are very good to help reduce cholesterol. But I also would be taking a fish oil supplement to try and get your good cholesterol levels up. And that's, again, fantastic for supporting you after menopause, or if you're stressed or if there's inflammation, because they are anti-inflammatory for the brain. They keep your blood nice and thin, so they're very heart healthy. They can help with blood pressure in that way. They're great for your skin. They do support inflammation in joints as well as everywhere else in the body. So they do so many jobs. So I definitely would add to the red rice yeast, which could be Cardio K. I would definitely add the omega-3 fish oils. And the best ones I love is the Unocardio. They're spelled UNOCARDIO because it has also your vitamin D in there, which is great for your bones. And we have a lovely product as well called, it's by a Spanish company that I have started getting some products in from Spain. And the company is called Bachula, and it's called Normochol, Normocol. But Patricia, in that, there's also some berberine, which I think is brilliant for helping blood pressure. It's great for helping keep your cells sensitive to insulin, so they help our preventative against type 2 diabetes. There's also some pine bark extract in there, which is a fantastic kind of natural antioxidant for the brain and for aging, and it also has the red rice yeast and the Q10. So that's the Bachula, Normacol, or else your Cardio K and a fish oil for cholesterol.
Okay.
Now, the blood pressure. If your blood pressure is high and has been high for a long time, truthfully, I think you're better off going on the medication, because elevated blood pressure over time will damage your heart and also increase your risk of stroke. So you really can't be playing around with it. It's not like cholesterol, which takes a long time really to cause problems for your health. So in this case, I'd probably support the body, my baby, adding magnesium. And also hawthorn is very, very good as a herb for the health of the blood vessels. So it would help your blood pressure in that sense. And it would keep your heart healthy, and especially if your cholesterol is high, it keeps all those veins beautifully clean and working very, very well. So you could add the two of those, but I think if your blood pressure has been elevated for a while, just go straight on the meds. You can do everything else anyway, but get that blood pressure down.
Okay, another question in from, where are my questions gone? Sorry, there's so many questions. Trying to get to the right one. Okay, what would you recommend for osteoporosis, please? I'm taking vitamin D 25 UG daily. What is the proper dosage, and what else should I be taking? That's from Mary. Osteoporosis.
Okay, so osteoporosis is where the bones lose their density and they become more prone to breaking. And I think we've fairly high incidence in Ireland. And personally, I don't think it's because of a lack of calcium in the diet, which is important for building bones, because we've actually plenty calcium in Ireland. I think it's probably more likely to be the lack of vitamin D. So it is very important to take a vitamin D supplement all year round if you've got osteoporosis. And I think if you're menopausal, I think I would start taking it around then as well, because estrogen has a hugely protective effect for your bones. So if you are postmenopause, you'll be lacking estrogen, of course. Now, you can take plant-based estrogens, and they are wonderful for the bones as well. But at the very basic level, a vitamin D and a D3 and a vitamin K2 supplement. So K2 will get the calcium out of your diet onto your bones. Vitamin D will help you absorb calcium from your diet. And then include foods in your diet like, of course, dairy is a good one, but also things like almonds and sesame seeds are amazing sources of calcium if you can't take dairy. So are oranges and green leafy vegetables. Hummus, chickpeas, lentils, kidney beans, all of those are very high sources of calcium as well. So there's no reason that you'll be lacking calcium in your diet. And then if you feel you're not getting a lot of green leafy veg in, it might be good to take magnesium, because they both work together for building bone. And some studies have shown a mineral called strontium. It's not one that we'd ever hear about. Can be a superb for supporting osteoporosis and healthy bones. So the supplements that we get great feedback on here, if you want an all-in-one, is the Nature's Plus Garden Bone Support is very, very good. And then that's the top of the range one. And then you've got the BioCare Osteoplex is another good one. And Nature's NHP, they also do one called Osteo Support. So any of those should have kind of mostly everything in there that you need for healthy bones.
Okay, listen, we'll wrap it up there. Thank you for that. We won't be with you next week because we'll be having our bank holiday weekend. So enjoy the bank holiday weekend, and we'll talk to you the following week. Thanks for that.
Thanks, Patricia.
Bye-bye. That is Anneliese Dressel of the Health Hub Times Square in Ballincollig. And of course, as Anneliese does every afternoon, if you go to her website, which is healthhubstore.com, she'll put up all of the information that we spoke about today, because sometimes it's hard to catch the names of some of the products that Anneliese is talking about. And then, of course, as a separate podcast, John Paul will put it up wherever you get your podcasts from, or by going to our website, c103.ie.